Hello, 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 and welcome. See what a pretty flat green world we have. Well, we have plans. We're going to do some builds. We're just going to mess around and have some fun with some builds. The first houses that we're going to work with come from an old game. Some of you may not even know it exists. It's called Ultima Online. And we are going to place the stone and plaster house. And we're going to use this as our first little house. Now, in Ultima Online, this house is basically about 5 by 5. 5 tiles by 5 tiles. It just has the one window in the center of these two walls, has a single door, and it's just a few steps. Now, so there's not much to this, and it shouldn't take us very long. The trick will be, I will attempt to do this using materials that are easy to gather in survival. So that's actually going to be the fun part. One of the things about this is, unlike trying to do a Sims 2 house, for example, in Ultima Online, the houses are, well, the old classic houses anyway, are actually the same on the inside and the out, which is very common for builds, for basic builds in Minecraft. So this should be a pretty quick build, so let's get to it. And like I said, it's only 5 by 5, but it's a box, so obviously it would not be difficult for you to make it as large as you needed it if you wanted to do this build yourself. So let's get started. And all right, we are going to use, I think we're going to use the smooth sandstone for the corner pieces, the cobblestone for the foundation. Actually, that looks more like a brick, doesn't it? Yeah, that looks more like a brick. Let's use nope, not the silverfish block. Yeah, let's use the stone bricks. And those stairs don't quite match. I think we'll use the cobblestone stairs. No. Stone stairs, okay. I am using a texture pack called Smooth Chocolate. So, and then let's see. So we have this for foundation, that for walls. This is for our steps. For the roof, well, it kind of needs to be something we can do stairs in. And it kind of has a red look to it. Thinking, if we're trying to keep with the same palette, that we may need to go with the nether. But that doesn't really look red. That looks more red. Actually, we could go with this red sandstone. Let's do that. Well, we'll pick these and see, because I'm not really trying to go so much for, I'm trying to recreate it as close to what is in Ultima, what is in UO as possible. And then the floors, I believe, are wooden. And I'm thinking we'll use an oak door. Yeah, it's a dark wood. I'd say, yeah, dark oak probably for the floors. Well, that kind of matches the floors, doesn't it? So we'll go with a dark oak door to dark oak floors. Let's try that. Planks. Well, we could do slabs. And a dark oak door. We'll just go with regular blocks. I'm trying to make things more complicated than they need to be. Alright, I think that should do it. And like I said, it's 5 by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, that rolled. 4, 5. Now, so it's actually not 5 by 5, is it? Let's put the door here. Let's do our steps. Stop that. Stop that. There we go. Okay, so we need the door right there. Okay, we'll have to get the floor in. One, two, three, four, 5. All right. Okay, the only thing is, I do believe that this is 5 by 5 on the inside. I think we're going to have to make the foundation a little bit bigger in order to get the walls in without losing the floor space. Because this is two, three, 4. Yeah, it's 5 on the floor, so we are going to have to. Oh, stop that. We want that there, so we are going. I thought that might be different. All right. So actually, this is 7 by 7. It's just 5 by 5 on the inside floor. Okay. And as far as height goes, it's a couple of tiles or so above her head. So I would say we'll take it up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then have the ceiling. So let's see. That's from the ground. If you count the foundation, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I used the wrong stuff. Supposed to be using the sandstone for this. Dadgummit. Dadgummit. Okay, so we won't count the foundation. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we have that. And we can go ahead and put our door in now because it's supposed to be right there. Well, no, it really isn't. It should be out. It's more up against the steps, I guess. I think I had it right the first time. Okay. And then we set our walls. Did we say what our walls were going to be? We have the sandstone for the corner pieces. What did we pick for walls? Don't think we did. And see, in the UO house, it's just a little bit lighter than the corners. Let's use this white stained clay. That's relatively easy to get if you know where your mesa is. Or you can always stain your clay. Yeah, that doesn't look right. That does not look right. Well, let's try something crazy here. I think it's gonna be sand. I think so. I think that'll work. Okay, now the door's gonna be fun, or the window is gonna be fun. We'll save that. Put the glass in. And it's not much of a window, it's just a single window. We are going to make it too high. And I am going to go with the light gray. If you've seen any of my builds, you're not surprised to see me choose the light gray pane. Yeah. I am actually working on a series, recording a series where I am planning to recreate what was formerly known as Caesarea, which has become Britannia. I'm recreating it, but I'm doing it in survival mode. But I was just in the mood to do some quick builds, and this gives me good practice. I'll have something as a reference when I get ready to start building the world. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good actually. So far. Of course, I'm used to having a lot more windows than that. But let's see. And you know, we could, if we wanted to, we could even detail these corners a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, they have stone. They have the sandstone for either side of this door. Does it go all the way up? Yes, it does. Of course, the door is a lot taller on UO, but I think we need to alter this just a little bit. Okay, so we have our sandstone that goes all the way up the door, just like in the UO house. We just framed it in a little bit and put that back to sand. I was gonna say we could do, it looks like it goes every other one. Let's see how much of a pain this would be. I think I like that, the way it wraps around. The problem is if we do it here, then it eats into the door frame, because we just don't have the space. Yeah, so we can't really do both without that looking like a jumbled mess. So I think we're going to sacrifice the door frame. Because I like this corner detail. I think that looks kind of neat. So yeah, we're going to do that. Yeah, I'm really excited about my other series I'm working on, that where I'm planning to duplicate Cesaria. It's going to be a major project just to map it out, much less to try to recreate it. So I'll be doing it in sections. I'm not about to graph out that entire world. I'll be doing it in sections. Reproduce Moonglow first, maybe, because that's kind of a newbie area, or it used to be back in the day. Oh, stop that. Now, if you still wanted the framing around the door, obviously you could. But I think I like the detailed corners if I have to pick. Now, if we made the house bigger, right now it's 7 by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Right now it's 7 by 7. If we made it 9 by 9, we would have room to do both the detailed corners and the framing of the door, which would actually look better, because I did like having the door framed. But I did not like the front of the house looking too jumbled. So this is what we're going to go with. And this is tiny on the inside, but it would be a cute little starter house and really easy to do. Super, super easy for a starter house, especially if you spawn in the desert. I'm using smooth sandstone because I like the look of it. But you wouldn't have to. You could use regular sandstone and it'd look just as good. Alright, so now let's figure out our roof. That's going to be tricky. I'm going to go ahead and use the smooth sandstone for this to get this to come up. And we are going to do a simple stair roof style. So I can't exactly use the sand for this because it will fall. I actually used to use sand as building materials a lot. I don't really know why. I think I got away from that when I found mesas. I fell in love with all the stained clay. And of course you can dye your own stained clay. If you don't know where your mesa biome is, and you don't want to use mineatlas.com or chunkbase.com, you can always use regular clay and just stain it. Okay, so we were gonna try, because that looks really red. So we're gonna go with the red brick. We are gonna go with the red brick and see how it looks. It might just look way too goofy. We'll see. I'll try to remember to strafe instead of turning my camera every 5 seconds. And let's make this stick out one. Oh, I do that all the time. When I strafe, I start pushing the wrong buttons. I'm actually getting a little bit better at this flying business. In some of my other videos, I talk about how much I suck at flying, because I really do play survival mode more often than not. But there are times I just want to build. Just want to build. I don't care about gathering resources. I just want to build something. So when that happens, then of course I do the creative mode. Yeah, I think that's about right. Okay, so let's do the other side real quick. And we're probably just going to use slabs across the top. Don't turn, thank you. Well, one thing about it, this little house, this little quick build, should not be an hour-long video, unlike so many of my others, unfortunately. And I really try not to do that, but it seems to happen more often than not. Okay, and one more row down here. Yeah, a lot of times, I know personally, it can be a challenge to come up with new building designs. It doesn't have to be completely original every time. You can find inspiration all kinds of places. Like for me right now, I'm using an old game. Well, the old version of the game. I haven't played Ultima Online. I started playing it when the Renaissance expansion came out. My son was about 3, and he is going to be 21 this year, so that's how long ago I started playing it. But then I played it for over 6 years. But it's been a lot of years since I played it online. They have a lot of expansions and stuff, I'm sure, since that time. I have quite a few of them. I have up to the Samurai expansion. I'm wondering if I need to... Yeah, let's tuck some stairs up underneath. Stairs, not slabs. No. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Yeah. Well, so there you have it. Really, really simple. And we would have been done a little faster had I not had to play with the front. Now, we could go back and change. It's hard to tell, but it looks like we should go back and change this top part to the sand. Now that we have something to base it on, but I kind of like the detail. And we're not going to get the exact same look because the Ultima Online is in a different perspective. It's 2D. And you don't really see this part. So we are going to go with that, I believe. Or we could just fill that in with the red brick. Let's see what that looks like. Just to get the same look. I don't know, I kind of like it. Kind of do. But there are all kinds of sources you can use to get inspiration for new floor plans. You can go through, and of course I moved around a lot growing up. Yeah, I like that better. I moved around a lot growing up, and even as an adult. So if I were just to do floor plans of homes I've lived in, that would give me a lot of floor plans to choose from. And then, of course, like this, we're using floor plans from another game and converting it. And, of course, if you have Sims 2 or have ever played Sims 2, the number of houses there you could do to convert into Minecraft houses is, oh my gosh, there's tons of them. Alright, so on the inside, now in Ultima Online, when you go inside, you don't see the roof, it disappears. So I think let's just go with a ceiling And of course, for survival mode, you would want to put some torches and stuff up in here. Let's do that. Because you don't want critters spawning. You don't want critters spawning in here. Oh, stop that. My little scroll button is awfully sensitive, it seems. Okay, so we have light up there to keep that from spawning. And we'll go ahead. We're not going to decorate this because then it would take... it would run my video longer than what I intended. We're just going to do the builds. But I am going to add light. Even though I have this set. Of course, this is creative mode, obviously. And I have this set on peaceful. So there are no mobs spawning here at all. But in order to have your little Minecraft house mob safe, then you're going to need the light. And you probably wouldn't need that much light, but I like the symmetry. Now the only other thing we need to make it match would be a sign outside the door. Let's go ahead and add some light here to make it more Minecraft friendly. And probably wouldn't hurt to have let's put some on the back. See, the door was here, we skipped over. Okay, that gives you a pretty good light source. You can see on the ground from the light coming from in the house and then the light that's outside the house. That should help with your spawn issues. Oh, now we need a sign. A house sign. Now in Ultima, it's attached to the house hanging like that. I don't think we can get it to work like that here. But we can do a sign. Alright, so we're just going to put the sign over the door. And we're going to say stone and plaster Ultima Online. And yeah, that works. Okay, so we have a stone and plaster house from Ultima Online, or at least that's as close as we're gonna get. I think that turned out pretty cute. So if you're in a desert, that's really easy to do with the sand and the sandstone, even if you don't do the smooth, which is still easy to do, because you can craft it quite simply. And then of course the wood, you could use any kind of wood, but I like the dark oak for the contrast because the sand and the sandstone are so bright. And to be honest, I would not have thought to use red brick for a roof, but in order to get the color and the shape that we wanted, because we could use like a red stained clay or a hardened stained clay, but we wouldn't get the slope because you can't make stairs out of them, at least not right now. I haven't been online for a while, so I don't know if 1.9 is even out yet. if for some reason 1.9 has come out and you do have the ability to make stairs out of a red stained clay, then that would probably be better. The red stained or the hardened clay, that would probably be better than the red brick. But again, all of these materials are relatively easy to gather. In survival mode, the clay for the brick would probably be the most time consuming, because you do have to go. Swamps seem to have the most easy access to clay. So, but anyway, I think that's good. We will call that good for this episode. And it would have gone a lot smoother had we not had to take stuff out and replace it. I still think we need a little something across the top here. It just looks a little flat. Yeah. It just looked a little too flat. Yeah, that's a little better. Gives it just a tiny bit more depth. Okay, we're going to stop before I start doing too much thinking and decide to do the interior and all that kind of stuff. Maybe we'll do the interior on the next episode. But anyway, there's our little stone and plaster from Ultima Online. Best way I could do. And you may have a better idea. That's awesome. And again, if you wanted to make it, I believe we said 9 by 9, it should give room to frame the door with the sandstone. But to keep it as close to the same size as the game, this is what we've gone with. Thank you again, or thank you, not again. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. And thank you again for taking the time to watch my video. We will see you later.